had it stayed at this energy disorder, had it not progressed any further, I would have continued living like I do now. Okay, I don't really know where to start. I do want to, I think, start by saying, please, 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 I don't want suggestions for answers right now. It overwhelms me. I already have 3 expensive medical things that I have to go and do. And I don't want to be searching for other things in between that. You don't know my whole history, don't know everything going. I have an incredible doctor. And if these don't pan out, then I will ask questions and I will ask for advice. But let me get through the tests that I have to get through first, and then I can come out. So we're gonna go back a long time ago, 15, 20 years. As far as I know, as long as I can remember, I've always had low energy. I slept more than normal people, and I was kind of cold. And so I didn't really have access to a doctor, to testing growing up. And I would always hear from people, oh, you probably have a thyroid issue, you probably have anemia, low vitamins. And I just lived my whole life like this. I just slept more than other people. It was annoying, it was frustrating, and I just thought one day I'm going to get a blood test and I'm gonna figure it out. So fast forward, I think I have, one of these things. It's gotta be the answer. I'm so used to dealing with low energy. It's my norm. It's not fun to deal with, but it's manageable. And so I did my blood test. I did so many blood tests. I don't have hyperthyroidism. I don't have any thyroid issues. I don't have anemia. I don't have vitamin deficiency. I did a lot of blood tests. They all came out negative. The one good thing, well, not good thing, I guess the proof that I wasn't crazy is that every time that I would do a blood test, there was always like markers in my health that were different. My body was always fighting something in some different way. So I was always looking a little sick, which would make sense for being always feeling low. My body was constantly fighting an infection. I've also tested for other things, autoimmune disorders, multiple autoimmune disorders, multiple things that a blood test I would have, I got blood tests and I got multiple blood tests to go deeper into those blood tests. I've done a lot of blood tests. At this moment, has always been my life, I have some sort of energy disorder that makes me sleep more than the average person, and that makes me feel exhausted more than the average person. So that's kind of, I guess, like the first part of sharing this journey, because had it stayed at this energy disorder, had it not progressed any further, I would have continued living like I do now. Being a vlogger, social media influencer, all that stuff is a lot of fun. I love it. I love the businesses I've been able to help. I love the stories of people visiting places because of me. I remember, especially early on, I kind of pioneered social media for Texas travel, like really helping people explore local things around, get out. And I would hear all these amazing stories of people who never got out of their house or never did much, and now they're finding beauty in what's nearby, in the whole sense of like, yeah, we all dream of traveling to Europe or Maldives or anywhere, but that takes a lot of money and time to save up, and it's not always possible. But what's in front of us or what's around us, what's in our backyard, is more attainable, and then it also allows more people to create their dreams, because when we're visiting the local mom and pop restaurants, or we're even going to an attraction and then stopping at the boutique, stopping in those, like we're growing these small businesses around us, and we're finding joy more often in the small things versus chasing that faraway dream. But what changed was that things just kept going faster and faster and faster, and so I was getting to the point where I was taking like 6 trips a month. I wasn't taking breaks. I don't know, like the only time I would take breaks is when I was so exhausted. I'd finally take a weekend off, but I was working 12 to 16 hours a day. All I was thinking about was work. We were going on these intense trips, and it's hard to explain because yes, they're fun. Well, they're fun when you don't feel awful. It looks glamorous, but that doesn't change that it can really wear down on your body. To recap, I was sick. I've always been sick. I'm used to dealing with it. Now, with my job, I wasn't taking breaks. I was just going. My health was decreasing because of it, and I didn't realize it, but also I felt like I needed to, because, you know, I have a team, I have goals. Honestly, it gets harder and harder in this industry. In a world where everyone can become a blogger, a social media influencer, work on online social media, it's true, everyone can do it. So in order to be successful, it actually becomes harder. Before, like, you could just post anything and be in the social media world. And then you had to be good at posting. So there was like this separation between people who could create beautiful videos or photos and those who couldn't. And then when everyone got good at creating good photos and videos became oversaturated, then it had to be something different. Then you had to add more of your personality, you had to be better at storytelling, you had to be better at developing a community. And it tired me out, on top of what I had. The industry is competitive. It is very, very competitive. And for that reason, a lot of people will start, and a lot of people will return to their jobs, because as fun as it is, it's not worth the stress, or, you know, they'll go part-time. And it's a beautiful thing to work in social media. I can't say it's not, to be able to create a life that you wouldn't be able to before. You had to know someone special, you had to be well connected, you had to have a lot of money, and then suddenly, if there's still luck involved, I think everything is luck and hard work, and some people get more lucky and some people work harder, but it's still something crazy that more people were able to create their dreams because of social media. But that doesn't change that it also got super competitive to stay in this industry. But I do want to talk about the roughness of social media and the work that I do beyond the energy and my disorder, but things that have just affected me. So what happened, I disappeared for a month, and it was because of two things. My body was giving out. It could not handle the amount of work that I was doing. And each time I would do a trip, I'd get more and more exhausted. I'd have to like pull myself out of bed. I'd have to use all my energy. My legs gave out at one point. I was just trying to convey energy that I was through these things when I had none of it. And at the same time, my mind was giving out. I'll tell more of the full story later, but I do want to let people know what it's like being on social media. The crazy thing is, I think people would see me and they would think, well, they think a lot of different things and assumptions. But everything about me, I should have been tough. I did not grow up in a family that coddled me. I did not grow up in a fairy tale world. Very early on, I was taught and reminded and shown that life is not fair. You know, I was told to suck it up, to deal with it. I should not have been sensitive, but I am. And I have spent the past probably 5-6 years trying not to be sensitive, because I live in a social media world where at any given time, 10 million people have access to me, because I have over 1 million people who follow me, but then with algorithms, oftentimes reaches 10, 20, 30 million people a month who aren't always the kindest. And then even the people who follow me, you know, you can follow someone and not always be the kindest. And every time it's like, well, they're miserable. You know, you just gotta know that that people are like that, you know, just roll it off of your shoulders. But the truth is, I'm tired of trying to do that. I've spent so long trying to be tough. to change the things that I can, accept the things that I can't. So I spent so long, okay, I can't change people, I can change myself, accept that people are awful, and change myself getting offended by it. But I think I'm starting to get to the point where I can't change that part of me. I'm sensitive, and the world should be less cruel. I mean, that's truly the change that I think we should work for, because social media has created this thing where people can be cruel and mean online, and we just accept it. And I think that's the thing that needs to change. Comments really get to me, all comments. And people are awful. I have to overthink everything I do. Oh, if I wear makeup too much, then people are annoyed that I'm not real enough. If I don't wear makeup, then someone insults how I look. If I'm too much myself, then people say I'm silly or annoying or something. And if I am not myself, then people say I'm fake. It's been easier to hide behind someone who doesn't have a lot of personality, because then they don't have to attack my characteristics. And then on top of that, I feel like I've poured so much of my heart into what I do. And I'm just constantly told how, I visit a place and I'm told that I ruin it, or that like, oh, she's just an influencer looking for attention. And there's just so much around this like whole mindset of, influencers are ruining things and posting things just for likes, when I literally started this as an accident. And I just wanted, and now for me, sharing Texas has been about what it was for me in the beginning, is that I grew up without a lot of money. We didn't travel, like we didn't take real vacations. And as I grew up, I realized, oh my gosh, I didn't realize all there was around Texas. Me and my husband, when we were first dating, we started just taking these weekend road trips in Texas, because I had a 9-to-5, and so I couldn't take trips and I didn't have money to take like big trips. And so we went to Fredericksburg for a little weekend. We went to these English gardens in Weatherford. We just take these trips, and I would post on social media at the time, not thinking much of it, just like what people my age did. And it turns out a lot of people were in my situation, where like, well, we have jobs, we don't have a lot of spare income. We didn't realize all this was in Texas. So I've continued to do that. And I believe that we need to protect the things around us. We need to protect the waters, the parks, the nature. And I also believe that it should be accessible to all. And so I wish growing up that I knew about the Frio River and all these places I could go swimming, especially on those hot summer days. And so I share those things for that. And then there's always multiple keyboard warriors thinking they're so tough, telling me how awful of a person I am. And of course now I share all things for all budgets. I still like mostly Texas, because I've always believed that people need access to things around us in Texas. So even when I've gotten to explore other places and do cool things, I'm always like 80% of my feed needs to be Texas, because that's why people are here and that's who I serve, and all the small businesses that have benefited from that. I want to make sure they continue to do that. And yet through that all, I'm just constantly attacked by assumptions about who I am. And then when they can attack my physical appearance or something weird that I do, then they do. Of course, a lot of racist people like to attack my relationship. If I share anything about my Mexican culture, I'm told to go back to Mexico, even though I was born in Texas, raised in Texas. And so I'm just constantly reminded that not just one people, but a lot of people think I'm an awful person. They don't know me, but they think I'm an awful person. I had my social team like go through and delete negative comments like before I could see them. But I think at this point, I don't even want to see my comments or DMs anymore. Like I I'm so overwhelmed because, yeah, they could check before, but then one comes up and sneaks up on me at this point. And we have so many. I mean, it's a lot for my team to filter through Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. Um, like, I don't even know how many negative comments are coming in a day at this point. It's so many. And I don't know how to deal with it. I'm not sure what to do because you kind of need the comments to, not the negative comments, but you need comments, you need your comments open to be able to maintain a business. Like, this is still a business. And you need that for that to happen. And I could stop that, but then it would be harder for my team, and I love my team, and I'm not, I don't want to let them go. And so I'm kind of like, I'm at a crossroads of even what I want to do with my pages, because I don't want to deal with that negativity anymore. But I want to keep the business. And so I don't know. And then we add on the next part, which I'll talk about soon when I'm ready. I disappeared for a while for multiple reasons, and I've kind of given like small pieces, but I've never let everything in. So it's a long, complicated story, but